Welcome to the Q2B Practical Quantum Computing Conference. And I'd like to say thank you for those who worked behind the scenes to make today possible. Colonel Tim Lawrence, Dr. Michael Haydick, Mr. Reed, as well as Delia Jasadis. Thank you all so much for making today possible. Quantum helps us achieve position, navigation, and timing in new and different ways for the warfighter. It takes advantage of partnerships across the joint services, across the DoD, and across industry. As commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory, my number one priority is to accelerate the S&T 2030 strategy. In order to do this, we want to accelerate delivering transformational technologies to warfighters to meet their needs, such as resilient information sharing. And that's where quantum information sciences come in. In order to develop the most resilient information system, we can leverage quantum technologies in new ways. We have 4 quantum investment priorities: timing, sensing, communications, and computing. You'll learn more about these priorities throughout the conference, as well as Dr. Haydick's presentation coming up. And now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Jack Blackhurst, our civilian director, and he's going to talk about how you can partner with AFRL using our new teammate, AFWERX. Over to you, Jack.
Hi, I'm Jack Blackhurst. I'm the AFRL Executive Director, and it's a pleasure today to be a part of the QTB conference. It's a pleasure for us to be a partner and a player, and I hope this is an exciting time for you as you experience the quantum conference that you're currently participating in. It's a great time to be in AFRL. It's also a great time to be outside of AFRL and be a partner or player in working with the AFRL community. I can tell you that having been in AFRL for a number of years, it's certainly a different time for the laboratory in terms of we are doing a lot more partnering and activity with both academia and industry. It's exciting. You're going to see lots of activities if you haven't already participated, in which, for example, we did the Quantum Collider, we did the Hackasat kind of activity, collider events, accelerators, those kinds of things to actually inform as well as to encourage those people that perhaps haven't worked with the laboratory in the past become avid partners and want to work with us. I'd like to switch now to talk a little bit about AFWERX. AFWERX is a relatively new organization in the Air Force, and if you've played with AFWERX in the past, it's basically been on the innovation side, where you basically have come in and participated in some of their events. For example, last summer they had a big event on fusion. They had one on energy and a number of other key topics in which we're looking for new ideas to support the United States Air Force. The organization has actually changed in the last couple of months. The AFWERX that you knew, AFWERX 1.0, was basically focused on Spark kind of events, innovation, bringing collaborators together for a series of events to look at new ways of looking at technology. That is still in existence as one of the divisions of AFWERX, but we've also expanded AFWERX to include 2 other divisions. The first one, in addition to the Spark division, is called Air Force Ventures. And what that is about that's about trying to bring commercial industry into the Air Force to look at products that the commercial industry is developing that might be applicable for the military use. The belief is about 80% of the technology today is developed out there in the commercial world. And if that's true, then what that means is we need to take better advantage of that particular commercial technology. And so you will see various events using Small Business Innovative Research Funds to encourage you to come in and show us what you're doing, to see where those applications are, where we might be able to apply those to military applications. The final division in the AFWERX organization is called Prime. And the reason it's called Prime is it's about talking about bringing commercial technology into the Air Force and actually demonstrating it. So if you haven't heard about the flying car, agility prime activity that's going on. What that is trying to do, it's trying to take a technology that's out there in the commercial world that the Air Force is currently not developing, and the AFRL is not developing any technology in flying cars right now. But what we're interested in is looking, what's the state of the art of the technology out there? Could we use these actual prototypes and systems in a production way in the United States Air Force? And so the idea there is to go out, encourage vendors to come in, show us their wares, actually compete in some events, and then perhaps down select to a few key primes that we would encourage to go off and perhaps produce numbers of copies of these into a production mode and actually put them into service. And so that's a great example of where there's a technology that the AFRL is not involved in, but bringing that technology into the research laboratory and working that. So coming up in December, the 7th through 11th, there's a big AFWERX event. And by the way, if you're not familiar with AFWERX, go to their website, afwerx.com, because there's lots of good information about there. But I want to announce their event on 7th through 11th December, where they're basically going to tell you a lot of information about what they're doing, but they're also going to identify some new prime applications. And so things like quantum communications, microelectronics, supersonic airplanes, and the like. And so if you can remember, the purpose there is basically to look at technology that's out there in the commercial world that might be applicable to the military. So if you have a technology such as that and you'd like to play into the AFWERX paradigm or the prime activity, please attend the 7th through 11th December event, and I encourage you to apply. So with that, I think, again, it's certainly a great opportunity for us to be a player and partner in this activity, and we encourage you to have fun in the Q2B conference. Thank you very much.